Welcome to Uncovering the More, Episode 2, Taking Risks and Overcoming Fear. Jump. I never learned to swim when I was a child. When I went to the pool, I played at the shallow end. When I went to the beach, I stayed close to the edge. My dad tried to teach me, but I didn't want to learn. I hated wearing bathing suits. I felt like if I'm going to wear a bathing suit, I might as well be parading around in my underwear. As for my dad, he was born and raised in Florida, and he learned to be a great swimmer. He also wanted his children to be great swimmers too. But the more he pressed, the more I resisted, and I was never able to learn how to swim because of my stubbornness. My younger siblings learned how to swim and enjoyed the water, but I chose not to, not realizing that as an adult it would become one of the joys in my life. After I became an adult with my own children, I wanted to learn how to swim too. Year after year, I could not seem to find any swimming lessons for adults. Since I could not teach my daughters to swim, I enrolled them in swimming lessons at the Y and city parks, so they are good swimmers too. My youngest even went into the Navy, and passing the swim test was a part of qualifying and being able to enlist. I am sure you know the importance of swimming in the Navy, as she would be out to sea weeks and months at a time. Even my grandchildren learned how to swim. Seeing all the fun that my first grandson had in the pool made my resolve to learn how to swim even stronger. I imagined all the fun we could have swimming together in the pool. So at the age of 49, it became my mission to learn to swim. As a member of the local YMCA, I came across a flyer advertising adult swimming lessons in the evenings. I enrolled right away. There were about 4 adults and 2 teenagers in the class. We blew bubbles, practiced swimming with kickboards, and how to float on our backs. There I learned a little from each swimming style, but mostly the freestyle technique. The problem with taking swimming lessons during the summer months is it rained nearly every evening. And since Florida is considered the lightning capital of the world, as soon as the lightning started, they would cancel swimming lessons. So I got a few lessons in, but not many. I appreciated being with other adults who were struggling just like me. I felt a little ridiculous with the teenagers, but overall, they were just trying to learn to swim too. After that summer was over, I still didn't feel confident in swimming. However, the following year, about a month after I turned 50, I came across a flyer at one of the local city parks offering 2 weeks of 45-minute swimming lessons for $30. It was once again in the evening from Monday through Thursday, which proved to be great for me. God had stepped in and was giving me another opportunity at swimming. Again, I enrolled right away. I was so grateful that I was on my way to becoming a better swimmer. I even had my own personal swim instructor. She was a college student working as a lifeguard and swim instructor for the summer. She taught me how to swim in the deep end of the pool from one end to the other. I practiced treading water a little bit, and I was feeling more confident than I did the year before. One day, my regular instructor wasn't there, and I had a different male college instructor. He challenged me after seeing how well I could swim, and he said, "Tomorrow, you're jumping into the deep end." I said, "Okay." The next day came and I went to the deep end of the pool and I looked down. I was scared. The instructor counted me down from 10 and I didn't jump. He said, "You're doing this. You're going to jump in and swim back up to the top." I was so nervous. I was looking at the little kids across the pool learning how to swim, and here I was, an adult, too afraid to jump in the water. He counted me down another 3 or 4 times, and I looked at him and I asked him if it was important for me to do this. Besides, I knew how to swim. He said, "You have to do this because what if something happens and you need to jump in the water? You need to know that you can swim back to the top." I said, "Okay." I asked him to count me down again. He did, and I still didn't jump in the water. He did this about 2 more times, and then finally, one of the other college lifeguards sat down on the end of the diving board and looked at me with his rescue device across his chest. And he said, listen, go ahead and jump in the water. And don't worry, because if you don't come back up, I'll come get you. I said, okay. That settled it for me. So at the next countdown, I jumped in the water and swam my way to the top. I was so proud of myself, and relieved too. I then proceeded to swim to the wall of the pool. I was so excited, I got up and out of the pool giddy with accomplishment. I really did it. Then he said, okay, I need you to do it 2 more times. At this point, he didn't have to count me down. I just jumped right in with more confidence. I think it had something to do with the fact that I knew that the other lifeguard was sitting on the end of that diving board and he was watching. And I knew that if I struggled, panicked, and I didn't come up, he would come in and help me. So that was the confidence. The swim instructor then said to me, now tomorrow you're going to jump off the diving board. I said, really? I'm going to do that? He said, yes, the low diving board. Again, I said, okay. The next evening, I walked out onto the low diving board and looked down. Here we go again. He counted me down from 10 and so on, just like the day before. After a while, a crowd of little kids lined up behind me at the end of the diving board. They were so excited as they waited in anticipation for me to jump off so they could have their turn. I said, okay, well, I'm going to come down and let these children jump off the diving board because they are really excited and I don't want to hold them up. The swim instructor said, no, you're going to hold them up because you need to jump off. And I sighed. Okay. I didn't want to stand there and hold up the little kids, so I did. I jumped off the diving board and guess what? I came back up and swam to the wall. I was so happy, but guess what? I didn't do it again. That was it. I informed the college instructor that I did not have any plans to jump off any diving boards. I was content to stand on the other side of the pool, cell phone in hand, while I recorded my grandson jump off the diving board. I was satisfied that I had learned how to swim, with the assurance that I could save myself under reasonable circumstances if I found myself needing to jump into the water. Now I enjoy pool time with my grandchildren. Me and my oldest grandson do swim races. We all play in the water and splash around. We have so much fun. The lesson I learned is if God tells me to do something that I'm afraid to do, I can do it because I know that He's going to be there for me, and I know that He's not going to let me down. I know that He is right there, ready to rescue me if I panic and become overwhelmed and forget everything that I learned. That's the first lesson that I learned in my 50s, when I learned how to swim. And to this day, I still practice swimming. Freestyle is exhausting, but it's great exercise, and I do a pretty good backstroke. I'm still a little fearful of going in the deep end, treading water, and, I don't like getting my hair wet, but that's a whole thing. But I am learning how to build my endurance and learning how to breathe while swimming strokes. I thank God so much that I learned how to swim, and I didn't give up due to my age. I learned that I can be brave, and I learned that I could take risk of learning something new. Uncovering the More is also about taking risks, doing things that we are afraid to do no matter our age, obstacles, or fears. It is about seeking out to do the things that we've always wanted to do. How do we know if we can do it if we don't even try? What would it be like if you wrote and published a book, rode the roller coaster, traveled to a foreign country, learn a foreign language, climb a mountain, took an art class, started a YouTube channel, learned to play an instrument, or perform in a stage play? Chances are, if God placed it on your heart, it is already done. You just need to step out on faith and then keep on stepping. I challenge you, first of all, to think about it. What have you always wanted to do? And why? Why haven't you done it? Second, pray about it. Give it to God. Talk to Him about it. You can always be honest with Him, and He will lead you in the direction that you should go. Sometimes what you think you want to do is a form of something else that needs to be clarified. And finally, create a plan and take steps to move forward with your plan. I recently met a lovely and elegant author by the name of Dr. Kemi Akintu at a book signing. I purchased her book, Goal Redeemer, 10 Principles for Overcoming Barriers to Achieving Your Goals and Fulfilling Your God-Given Dreams. Immediately in her preface, she writes, "Your best life is right before you. As you read this book, learn from your past, position yourself to grow, and prepare to encounter divine direction." End of quote. It was kismet. I was meant to meet her, and I feel like this book was written with people like me in mind. You can find her information when you look on Amazon and you search for Dr. Kemi Akintu. With this book, you have to do the work, but if you do the work, you will obtain results. Proverbs 3:6 says, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths." New King James Version. So, you got this. Just jump.